you thinking about making a move to Greensboro, North Carolina, and you want to know, do we have hurricanes here in Greensboro? Well, today I'm going to be telling you all about hurricanes, and you're going to want to check it out. My name is Meredith Parsons. I'm a realtor. I live here. I love it here. I want you to move here and love it as much as I do. If you could do this, I would be so appreciative if you could like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because each week I'm going to be taking you on a little tour, a little adventure of all Greensboro Triad area, and I wouldn't want you to miss out. Are you ready? Let's go. So, do we have hurricanes here in North Carolina? Well, yeah, we do in North Carolina because we live on the East Coast, right? But do we have them in Greensboro? Yes, we do. So there may not be a hurricane, but it's going to be a tropical storm by the time it gets into where Greensboro is. So Greensboro is about, depending on what part of the beach you go to, which beach, because we have a long coastline, between 170 to 230 miles away from Greensboro. So by the time it gets in, it's slowed down. But so just this past weekend, we had Hurricane Ian come through. By the time it hit us, it was a tropical storm. But by the time it came in, we still were having super high winds. So when it was first started and forecasted on Friday, they were forecasting between 50 to 75 mile an hour winds. And you can see some downwinds here. Just want to show you like what could possibly happen. Let you walk you through a neighborhood and show you what happens here when we have the aftermath. So we are farther away. And so what normally happens here is one of two things. We have high winds, which is what would happen with a hurricane, right? High winds and rain. So on Friday, it was due to hit Friday night and then through Saturday during the day. And so the first thing that they did was they canceled schools. I know most people have complained about it when they weren't here, haven't lived here before, but we've had both hurricanes and tornadoes come through here before, and kids are trying to come home. Look at this house and all the stuff that hasn't been cleaned up. It's been virtually impossible to clean up because it's rained for the past 3 days. Let me spin it around so you can see it. But there's just tons of just limbs and debris, not huge limbs. So first they canceled school. So it was virtual learning, which the kids are super excited about because they got to sleep in. Winds they were forecasting were 58 to 75 mile an hour winds. So what happens is it's usually a lighter, this past time it was a lighter rain and then it just gets worse and worse. But what you have to worry about when we have these storms, especially in these neighborhoods with really old trees, is you're gonna have power lines down. So you need to prepare to not have power. So if you've got a generator, you need to get ready for that. Like you need to get your generator, you gotta make sure it's running, you need to get gas, and you need to get provisions. So I feel like on Thursday, everybody was running around, everybody was getting food. You hope you don't lose your power and lose anything in your refrigerator. But we actually have a generator because we lose so much power because of the old trees, which is, okay. If we have that, we're able to manage it. But so what you have to worry about are the super high winds. When you have 75 mile an hour winds, it's gonna do some damage. So you've got everybody out now, or those that have made piles and been good. You can see these behind me. You can make piles, but you haven't really been able to do it because it's rained for days. So how do you prepare for the storm? Okay, let's get your house ready. You're gonna bring everything in that you can possibly bring in that's gonna be blown away or what's gonna happen with these high winds. You're also gonna wanna move your cars and not park them underneath the tree. Take that from me. We've had that happen twice and had 2 cars totaled from our neighbor's tree that tree limbs fell on our cars. That's one thing that you're gonna wanna do is clean up, bring everything in that you can possibly bring in, and then also move your cars. You're gonna wanna stay indoors, right? Because you're not gonna want these tree limbs falling on you, especially you, or your car, and hopefully not your house. And so you're just gonna wanna keep everything in and stay safe that way. You're also gonna wanna they always tell you to get water. Hopefully you drink water, you should, it's good for your body. And get flashlights. You may need them, hopefully you won't need them, but you may need flashlights. If you have a generator, make sure it's working and make sure that you've got gas for it. I'd also tell you to fill up your car because sometimes, especially if it's coming from the south in Florida, they have problems with getting gas up to here. The last thing I would say is just make sure your sump pump's working. If you have a basement that water comes in, make sure that that's working as well. What happens, you've got high winds, it takes out the power. And then what happens is the ground gets super, super saturated. So it just happens that the winds stop blowing, but then you're still getting rain. It rains for days, and then the water table comes up. So then when the water table comes up, that's another thing that can happen, is you're really, really worried about trees. The tree roots get so wet and the ground is so saturated that when the high winds come, then the whole tree falls. And there's nothing wrong with the tree. There's nothing wrong with the tree anyway, really, when it blows down, but the whole thing is not strong enough to hold itself up. And then you have this massive root ball with a whole tree that's falling down and hopefully not hitting anybody or anything, but it blocks roads, it takes out power lines, and it's just awful. So you just need to be prepared that that's also something that could happen when we have these hurricanes and tropical storms that come through. So let's talk about what could possibly be the aftermath after the storm has come. It's going to be cleanup for sure. So, and hopefully nothing happened tragically to your house. Hopefully nothing like fell on your house. But that's one thing that with the high winds you need to worry about are shingles blowing off, siding blowing off. I mean, your furniture, with flooding, that could happen. It's going to be the cleanup. Hopefully nothing happened on the inside of your house, but like this is a perfect example of what happens. And the first house I showed you had. So here, usually if you can blow or rake it up, you can take things out to the street. In Guilford County, what they do to clean up is everything has to be in bundles. They will take up to 5-foot bundles. It has to be tied with twine. It's really easier to just throw it in a trash can, but that's something that you're gonna have to do is just clean up. And a lot of it's kind of like twigs, small twigs like that you have to like bend down and pick up, or leaves or branches. Like those are bigger branches there. Those are gonna have to go in a trash can. The ones that you need a chainsaw or just a handsaw to use. So that's going to be something that you need to clean up and do, and the city will come and pick those up. This street's a good one where there's lots of stuff. I can show you. Someone's digging up something, so that can't possibly be good. And then hopefully you don't have issues in your house. That's something where afterwards you're going to know if you're going to possibly need another sump pump, or if you're having water intrusion. You can work on drainage on the outside of your house. We had a storm at our house, and that was something we were missing. We had to put in a French drain, and our takeaways weren't connected. Just seems silly, but that's an easy $20 fix, is to put takeaways on. So you can see on the street, everybody's been working on the yard. All the bags, all the branches, all the things. So, thank you for sticking to the end. I hope this has been a little eye-opening and not too scary, but I like to prepare people for what could happen, but it's not always that you lose power. We didn't actually lose power this time, so I'm really excited about that. We had, between North Carolina and South Carolina, 300,000 people that didn't have power, and we shockingly kept ours. So we were totally prepared. So don't make it deter you from moving here. It doesn't happen all the time. It does happen. Here's another one where they've done fine. But it is something that does happen, but nothing that would make you not want to move here. So if you've got any questions, put them in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.